Good morning, Greyhound families. This is Mrs. Pierce here. I am your child's geometry teacher. This is my 11th year teaching at Carmel High School, and I've taught geometry in some capacity every single year. This video will just show you what resources are available for you and your student on Canvas. Hopefully we can all work together so that your child can become a better, not just a better math student, but a better learner, and develop some strong habits that they can carry with them throughout their academic careers and beyond. This is our Canvas homepage. It should look relatively familiar. It's pretty, I think, across the board here at the high school at least. This has been kind of the standard Canvas layout. All right, I'm going to start on the right here. This very last link here is where you can find my classroom phone extension and my email address if you ever need to contact me. You can also always send me a message in Canvas that I will respond to. This middle link here, class resources, that's where we'll go first. Class resources is going to take you to the bottom of the list of modules, okay? That contact page is there if you want to access that. There will be pages with completed resources. This includes completed notes, any in-class activities we do, any review packets, any special videos that students would need for a module. Those will be organized, like I said, by module in a page there in those completed resources. And then this classroom expectations, this is a link that will open up just a preview of a Google Doc that has essentially our syllabus and expectations. There's a list of topics we will cover until May. So this is both semesters of geometry. The words that I like to use for what I expect of students in my class is active and engaged. Active and engaged means they are taking ownership of their learning and really engaging with the content, wrestling with the content, having good conversations with their peers to better learn the material that we cover. All right. Every day at the beginning of class, we put our phones in a holder that's in the corner of the classroom, so their phones are not on their person in their bubble during class. Similarly, Chromebooks will not be out unless we're doing an activity that requires their Chromebooks. So technology is only used for instructional activities, I would say. We will talk about what resources, like I said, are on Canvas in the event that your child is absent, but just know that there is no substitute for being physically present in class. There are a lot of resources on Canvas, but being present in class so that your child can have conversations and ask me questions directly, there's no substitute for that, okay? Here, semester grades, 20% of the semester grades will be what we call practices. Those are more of the formative assessment grades. Assessments then will make up 80% of that semester grade. Those formative assessments are traditionally done online daily practices through our Reveal software. Each daily practice, a student can attempt up to 3 times to get whatever score they desire. But within each of those attempts, they have the opportunity to check their answers before submitting the assignments up to 3 times for each question. So there are a lot of opportunities to improve not only the score, but improve their knowledge so that they are learning concepts. As far as assessments go, we don't have traditional retakes for quizzes, but the unit assessment score, students do have the opportunity to replace a low quiz score with an improved unit test score. Okay, there are no requirements for that to happen as long as students show that they have relearned material and they've improved upon that. Their test score will replace their quiz score. For chapter, end of unit assessments, there are some requirements that have to be met. Students have to be participating, so anytime we've got direct instruction, they need to be following along, asking questions when they have them. If we've got a group activity in class, they need to be participating in that group activity. If there's time for them to work on their daily practice, they need to be taking advantage of that time in class. So again, those 2 words, active and engaged, that they have to be an active and engaged member of class in order to be eligible to take advantage of that relearning opportunity or that retake. All right. Their daily practices have to be completed the night before the originally scheduled test date. Okay, so if their assessment is scheduled for a Tuesday, their homework assignments have to be submitted on that Monday at 11:59 p.m. with a score of 6 or higher. The students must be present and take the test on the originally scheduled test date, barring excused absences, obviously. And then students must give me an authentic effort on their first attempt. And as long as all of those criteria are met, a student is able to take advantage of that relearning opportunity. Okay, again, that link is in, that classroom expectations link is in the class resources module that is at the bottom of the list of modules. Okay, we'll go back to our home page just to show you how to get to the bulk of what is available on Canvas. So this first link here is our learning modules, and that will open up a new tab, and this is for Tuesday, August 26th, Wednesday, August 27th. Each class day, all right, so each gold-blue cycle will have its own module. Within that module, there will be a list or a link for the things that need to be completed before the next class at the bottom. All right, so that's what I consider to be their quote-unquote homework. Okay, generally I will try to give at least 15 minutes in class to get homework assignments started. All right, sometimes students have more time, sometimes students have less time, depending on how long the in-class activity takes. All right, above that are any links for in-class activities that we're going to do. So on this Tuesday, Wednesday, we are going to be doing some segment addition proofs. This link is a link to a preview of that worksheet. This is the assignment. Once they finish this worksheet, they're going to show me and get their 5 points for that. There is a half sheet for some distance that they do, and then if any student wants the quiz review guide, I've got the link for the quiz review guide there. Okay, but I would say the important link or the most helpful link is going to be the very first item underneath the module. It's our daily agenda. Our daily agenda talks about which section we're covering and what the skills are that students should be able to do by the end of that class. All right. It then will have basically a to-do list of what we will accomplish in class that day. Okay, so this day we're starting with some sort of warm-up brain game. We will have a homework check to review what we did last class and introduce what we will go more in depth on for this day. Any direct instruction will be finishing some examples in the notes that students were supposed to have copied prior to coming to class, and then we've got the in-class practice, okay? In-class practice, any of the in-class practices are not collected for a grade, but they are considered when a student is interested in that relearning opportunity. So again, this is, they put their in-class practices in a folder that stays in my classroom. And if a student asks for that relearning opportunity, I am going to consider if they've put forth good effort to work on and participate in those in-class activities. Okay, today there will be a quiz review available for any students that want to pick it up. All right, but after that agenda, then there is a list of assignments to prepare for the next class. All right, there's usually at least one online practice that will go into that practice or that summative assessment category worth 20% of their semester grade. All right, there will traditionally be some notes for them to copy. And then today they also need to prepare for a quiz. And then at the very bottom of this daily agenda is when that next assessment is listed, okay? And I will try to keep the quiz and test, upcoming quiz and test listed in that, okay? So like I said, I've been very encouraged by what I've seen so far as a whole from students in class. They've been very, very respectful, very willing to ask questions, and very, very willing to work together to try to develop some deeper understanding for the new content that we've covered. I hope that we can work together this year to find the most success for your students. Thank you.